This is why the consecutive interest rate rise by the RBA will not crash the economy. Stop listening to the doomsayers. They don't
Instead
know
of
jack.
listening to all these losers, oh, a recession is coming, double interest rate, that troll my account and talk about negative shit. Let's go to a speech made by the Deputy Governor, Michelle Bullock. This lady over here, very smart looking, where she talked about how our households place for interest rate rises. And she works for him, who is the Governor of the Reserve Bank of Australia. And I read the whole goddamn speech, so you don't have to. And guys, this is straight from the horse's mouth, so don't listen to those so-called property experts. First point of our summary is that there will be further rate rises. She says in her speech, the cash rate target is 1.35%, but the board expects further increases in cash rate. Second point is, she knows that a third of Australians have a mortgage. Around 1/3 of all Aussies have housing debt. So she's not really concerned about the 2/3 of Australians that are out there. Even though I think personally those 2/3 of you who are renting are actually doing it tough too. So she makes the point in the speech that the 1/3 of us are well positioned to weather the interest rate hike. And based on the balance sheet of assets and liabilities in terms of this 1/3 of people who hold mortgage debt, as you can see, the assets here outweigh the liability that we have. She suggests that there's considerable resilience in the household sector in terms of rising interest rates. And based on statistics and facts, guys, households have saved a large amount of money since the onset of the pandemic. Looking at $260 billion saved in redraw facilities and offset accounts of home loans. That's why, guys, when you go to my other videos about how to set up a hybrid loan where you have a fixed loan and a variable loan, it's always wise to have a portion of your loan variable with an offset account. And from this chart, which is a household saving ratio, and guys, this is actual facts, okay, data. Overall, in terms of this 1/3 of mortgage holders in Australia, we are saving a lot more money. And this extra saving is actually parked in the offset account. This orange part is the interest, this is the principal, and this grey part reflects the offset money offsetting these loans. So for example, some of us might have a $200,000 home loan, and offset with that is maybe $200,000 of savings. Obviously, the government has access to our data. They can track these figures across nationwide. Then she showed this graph, which is credit to income ratio. What this really means is, this data points to that us mortgage holders, around half of us, have accumulated enough prepayments to service their current loan repayments for almost 2 years or longer. And these payments help buffer to protect against the risks as interest rate rises. And the third point she goes in her speech is that our lending standards have actually increased. She says that the strength of lending standards allows mortgage holders to absorb increase in interest rates. And if you think she's bullshitting, let me show you a current servicing calculator. Banks are currently assessing your home at 7.24%. If rates went up to 6.5%, you still won't die. What do you think?